Park man when the body was short, man.
King Krule, The Ooze. This isn't like UK singer-songwriter and producer Archie Marshall, otherwise known as King Krule, made a great name for himself. Like right out of the gate, he had a signature sound to stick to. He had a very recognizable voice, and you know, he's kind of built himself up to be a really good producer. Even on his solo material, A New Place to Drown, and on his debut album, 6 Feet Under the Moon, that was a really great record. Shifting into a lot of styles, mind you, but the sounds that this album kind of had were great. But on The Ooze, this thing is ambitious. It's kind of honing in on a mood, a sound, a concept. Even though this album is over an hour long, I still think it's worth a listen in case it clicks with you. I think that there are some flaws in this thing, but it's like the highlights they're up there. From the very dismal opener, Biscuit Town, very trip-hop-esque. It sounds so doomy and like a really dismal point to start the album on, but I think as it goes on, King Krule tries to find some way to work himself out of this rut. Like on Dumb Surfer, where he's kind of rooted deep into this depressive and kind of hopeless state, and especially if you watch the music video, this thing is dismal, but there's just kind of this sense where he's trying to work himself out of it. And I think it's a really great moment on the LP, as well as the fact that this track is like one of the most post-punky and jazzy inspired tracks on the entire thing, and in a great way. So for that reason, I think that Dumb Surfer is going to be one of my favorite tracks of the year. We'll see how it ends up, but I do think that it is something special and a big moment on the LP, as well as which kind of picks up the pace even more, and very tense as well. King Krule doesn't let go of that tension no matter what the track is trying to achieve, whether it be an actual song with vocals like Dumb Surfer, Biscuit Town, or The Locomotive, or maybe one of the abstract, droney, and kind of ambient soundscapes. These moments actually do make up a lot of the record, and that is what makes up this album's hour-long length. And that may be a turn-off for a lot of people, but I think that these moments help to kind of pace the record nicely and kind of build on the atmosphere of the previous track. I think that these moments are quite clever. It's just that, yes, they do take up so much of the album's length. It's just that, yes, they do take up so much of the album's length that, you know, sometimes this album seems a little too long for its own good. The Ooze functions more like a moody sketchbook, and the drawings are quite disturbing, with images of mosquitoes and scuba divers kind of drowning in their sorrows and encountering a whole lot of obstacles on this journey of self-discovery and self-worth. It is unsettling, but there's like a kind of a hidden beauty behind all of it. It's certainly worth the geese, and I can totally see its appeal that kind of fueled all the critical acclaim it's been getting as of recent. I just think that overall it's just a little too long for its own good. I think the lyrics are fantastic and very well worth reading into. Just instrumentally, sometimes this thing just seems a little too bloated, or just kind of drags on a little bit too much. Still, I think this is a likable record. I think it's worth checking out. 6 out of 10. The Ooze. King Krule.